कृपया लक्ष्य द्या. जयपुर वाया कोटा. कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Punjab Express. পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. Why am I smiling like this? Because usually on Saturday, you're not welcoming people at this time. You're saying, welcome back. But we're welcoming people this time because there's only one game on the Saturday. Look at me smiling. You know we obviously get paid the same whether it's two games or one game. You can tell by all the teeth I'm showing. And the fact is that the longer IPL this time means that double headers are only relegated to Sundays, which means Saturday, you can do everything. Relax in the day and come in evening for Saturday night fever and dance party. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, returning from last night after... Did you win or did you lose the guessing game? What happened? Did you?
Don't you have anything else to start with? You have like one standard opening. I won yesterday. What happened to you?
Yeah, it's you talk about the tournament if the tournament is on. Na? Our tournament is the guessing game. So that's what we're talking about.
He's just got a few, few guesses right.
Yeah, what did you do? But please don't color the perception of our debutant today. Please, I request you, sir. You're ruining the moment.
He won one day because the ball hit the stumps and ricocheted and someone took an overthrow. That's not class.
Mr. Bhogle has been to 3 therapy sessions to discuss that. It has really been traumatic for him. But coming all the way from the UK, our MVP, Michael Vaughan, the player. Hello.
How's it?
Yeah?
How's it going?
Have you ordered the food yet? More important. That's all I've come for.
That's right. We all have our own agenda. With Harsha and me, it's the guessing game. With Michael, it's the prawns. Everybody's got it all sorted. I'll do it. Don't worry. It's coming. I will perform my duties to the best of my abilities. In the meanwhile, if you guys don't mind, we should just get this formality out of the way, which is this show. Just quickly do it so we can get to dinner. But let me tell you what game is happening today. There's the one game today, as I have told you in no uncertain terms. It's Lucknow who is hosting Punjab at the Ekana Stadium. It's the first game happening at that stadium. Everybody obviously very keen to see, that surface and how that plays out. But we'll get to that in a second. Before we get there, Michael, you've just come in 10 days into the tournament. You've obviously been watching it. I know you've been watching it. We've been chatting about it. We've got a little rapid fire for you that has been written down. And since it's been written down, that's a dead giveaway that I haven't done it. Producer's done it. So we're going to start with now. If you had to choose an actor to play you in your biopic, this is not from. It's the wrong show. All right, sorry. I got the right one. Best batter so far this season.
I could argue Virat, but Henrik Klassen. Magnificent striker.
Feel like that answer will hold true for the next 8 weeks as well. The kind of form that he's in. Most impressive bowler so far?
You've got to say the Fizz. Much because 6 wickets in his 2 games. I'll give a little mention to Andre Russell. I think he's been magnificent with the ball at key times for KKR, but the Fizz.
Yeah, you can tell. It's 2 people, Andre Russell and MS Dhoni. On 2 knees, they're just different players, right? Both functioning knees.
Dhoni's got both his knees.
That's right.
He's flying in the air. He's got good takeoff from the ground.
The thing is, those 2 are so good with just 1 knee. With 2 knees, I don't think anyone stands a chance. But here you go. Best captain so far this season?
I'd have to say, I was surprised when MS Dhoni handed over the captaincy to Ruturaj Gaikwad, but he's been fantastic. He's scored a few runs. He's got them off to a couple of nice starts, but he's been very, very calm and influential in the field. So I have to say Gaikwad.
Okay. Is it like a twin thing, like Simon and Garfunkel, Dhoni and Gaikwad?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. All right. Your favourite moment?
Favourite moment? I'm going to stay loyal to one of our colleagues, Dinesh Karthik's finish. Against Punjab. That little flick, I think it was off Sam Curran into the stands for 6.
Yep.
They shouldn't have won that game, but he got them over the line. It's great to see him in decent form.
Okay, and the best match so far, you're going to go with the 277?
Yeah, just nice batting track. 6s flying everywhere. Henrik Klassen, good captaincy from Pat Cummins, but it was a tremendous game.
Yeah. you can tell that Michael Vaughan has no empathy for bowlers. He chooses a 525-run game as his favourite. All right, well, Sir, can I ask you, is your favourite moment? I want to check with you because I'm going to give my favourite moment as well because it came last night. So I want to check your favourite moment so far.
Your favourite moment came last night.
Yeah.
What happened? What
The
game was it
yesterday.
last night?
I think the Gautam Gambhir Virat Kohli little huggy.
The hugging.
For which SMG said they deserve an Oscar.
Yeah, even if. And can I tell you something? Can I tell you?
Sunny Gavaskar said, I think they deserve an Oscar.
I love that comment. I thought it was really funny. And in fact, if it is true, right, it was tongue-in-cheek, but if it's true, and if they're acting, and if they both despise each other and they want to fight with each other, and if they play acting, then I like that moment even more. Don't you, Michael? Because they're just putting everything to rest.
How did it come about?
I think in the strategic timeout.
Yeah, I saw it, but how's it got to that? Because I've seen Gautam and Virat for quite a few years now, and they've been at each other.
Yeah.
They've been pointing the finger at each other. And suddenly last night I watched and there was this loving, which I preferred than the pointing of the finger, but how did it get to that stage?
One's just retired from politics, the other's just had a second child. They're both looking at life very differently.
Yeah. Good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's good. So that was mine. Yours?
Yeah, there is. But I like to see Riyan Parag bat.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one as well.
Riyan Parag and what Sky said about Riyan Parag, saying, I saw this young guy at the academy and he was a different person. So let's see.
Which is also Joy's favourite moment. And you guys are thinking that I'm taking the mickey, but it's not.
So which is a great reunion? Is it Virat and Gambhir or is it Joy and Riyan Parag?
Joy and Riyan Parag.
Has to be.
That's the one I want to see. It's the one that's waiting to happen and it hasn't so far. All right, let's give you the news from the toss. It's Lucknow who has won the toss and decided to bat first. And lo and behold, no KL Rahul at the toss. There was Nicholas Pooran at the toss. I'm going to open my Cricbuzz app. But
playing as an impact player. KL's playing as an impact player.
Yeah, so KL has an injury and we're looking to give him a break in such a long tournament. So he's going to play as an impact substitute. That is very interesting, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's, I mean, clearly he's got a problem with some part of his body. I'm not too sure which part, but yeah, I guess the impact sub, it allows you to do that with a player, but he's got a niggle, which is why I think it's a really good addition to the IPL, this impact sub. It creates that moment. Like we see tonight, that KL Rahul potentially wouldn't have even played if it had been in old school times, but it's good to see that he's going to be that impact.
But here's the thing, they're batting first, right? They obviously want to give him a rest from wicket-keeping duties because they've got 2 international wicket-keepers in their 11, so there's no issue there. So if you just pull out the team, we see then why, I mean...
Well, they haven't released their team yet, but they've opted to bat. So he'll probably just do what kids did in colony games.
Yeah.
Just bat and then say, sorry, I'm taking my bat away and I'm going to put my feet up.
Yeah, it's by the way, when I used to play for the Star, when I was at Channel V, I used to play for the Star cricket team. Whoever was the CEO, COO used to do the same thing. He used to go, take their batting and go, and then they'd be sitting in the clubhouse Sunday afternoon, a couple of brews, just watching us kids field in the heat. So, yeah, but it's a good thing if you feel like this is a long tournament, if there is an injury. If the rule gives you that flexibility, use it.
Yeah. My only question is, where's he going to bat?
Yeah.
Is he going to continue opening the batting? Because he's not giving them those kind of starts. Even the last game, he was sort of 120, 130 kind of strike rate.
Correct.
Is he going to continue playing like that? Because they'll need to, they're batting first, aren't they? Lucknow Super Giants are batting first. Shikhar has said there was a lot of dew last evening. So if you're going to be the opposition's batting second, you need to have those extra runs in case there is dew.
Here's the thing. We're all fans of KL Rahul, and when he bats, he looks just so good. There's a couple of things that he's said over the last 1 year which have baffled me a little bit. I remember this one time, and maybe he just said it because there was a lot of heat on him about it. And sometimes when somebody asks you the same question 10 times, you just say, I'm not even bothered about it. That was his statement about the strike rate, right? Where he said, I'm not worried about the strike rate.
He said it's overrated.
It's overrated. Those were the exact words. Thank you. And this year he has said, I don't think any team has figured out what the power play is exactly, which for me, it just seems a little baffling.
Oh, I think it's been clear already in this year's IPL that the power play, we used to talk about 40 to 50. I think it's gone now to beyond 60.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be looking to score at least 10 and over in the first 6. So if you lose wickets, clearly you regroup and you have to assess. But the 2 players that go out to open the bat, and they have to have the mindset of striking boundaries. They have to from pretty much ball 1. And again, I'm looking at a trend and no surprise, 6s. You have to have players that can hit 6s.
Yeah.
You look at Henrik Klassen. Pooran, they just smack the ball out the park. Yeah. Those kind of players now are an absolute must in T20 cricket. So I get what I hear from KL about strike rates, but you generally only hear players protect and kind of say that strike rates are important when they play in a certain fashion. You know, we all know that T20 cricket strike rates are very, very important to the team.
Yeah, and we can see, like, we have a graphic which is the top 5 players, Harsha, and compared to that, this is really telling. He should look at this, and obviously he'll be wanting to improve this. The team will be wanting to improve this, whether they think it's overrated or underrated.
He should be playing on loop his innings of 50 or 14 balls.
Yeah,
because and that's still the fastest 50 in the IPL. That is what he can do.
Yeah.
So I just think KL Rahul just needs to uncork himself.
Yeah.
And say, "Phoop, there's the fizz, and I'll go and bat."
Yeah, Harsh, if you just put those numbers back up, the key thing, and I hope what he's not looking at is his average. So he's averaging 44. Look at that, average of 44. So you're looking at that again in any format of the game. You say, "Oh, what do you average?" "Oh, I average 44," but that's the old money. You know, in T20 cricket, if you say to someone, "Oh, what do you average?" "Oh, 44." Yeah, but you'll always get the second. But what's your strike rate?
Yep.
And when you say, "Oh, it's a striking of 108," you'll say you're not impacting the game.
And that's
whereas you look above, look at Prithvi Shaw. He averages 24. That's not enough, but his strike rate's at 141.
I like to total them both.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I like to total them both, right? Because that's also used as a good barometer when you total them both.
It is. I mean, you're adding two things that are different. Maybe as a rule of thumb. But if your strike rate is 108, the higher your average, the more difficult you're making it for everybody else. Yeah, because it means you're playing more balls at a lower rate, so the others have to catch up. So the other day they were chasing 193. And he struck at 130 or thereabouts. When you're chasing 190, you're playing a 160 game. Yeah. You're playing a 160 strike rate game. So if you're scoring at 130, then the others have to score at 200.
Yeah.
If you're playing more balls. And I think KL Rahul has that game. I mean, you saw the 50-over World Cup. Once when he was set the way he was playing, he was batting beautifully. Yeah. So I just think he needs to uncork himself, release himself, remind himself of who he is. We say this every year about KL Rahul.
Yeah.
But... I mean, he understands the game far better than I ever will, but I do know strike rate is not overrated.
Here's the thing, and the reason why we're having this discussion is because we have seen glimpses of him from there, and I think the word Harsha uses is just spot on, saying he needs to just uncork himself, because he has that game. You know he has that game. Will he be able to do that today? Batting first, very well could be. Let's have a look at the 11 that Lucknow is putting out on the park to bat first. There you go. Of course, it's the batting one. So there is KL Rahul there. He didn't come out for the toss. So they are being captained by Nicholas Pooran. Again, an experienced captain, which means that KL Rahul will be subbed out in the second innings when Lucknow comes to field. Opening with Quinton de Kock, who also needs to find some form. He's left international cricket. So he's looking a little rusty, a little patchy. They have Devdutt Padikkal, who they traded in from Rajasthan, perhaps as an opener. He's not getting to open here as well, though. Ayush Badoni, Marcus Stoinis, the captain Nicholas Pooran. Then Krunal Pandya. They have Mayank Yadav coming in, Ravi Bishnoi, Mohsin Khan.
And they got the left-arm spinner, Manimaran Siddharth, left-arm spinner from Tamil Nadu. So, it's interesting. They've also gone the route of everybody else, and they're now picking only 3 overseas players.
Yep.
Because, say, KL Rahul gets out quickly or he's gone off, they could get an all-rounder in KL Rahul's place, or they could get a powerful finisher. Because they already have 6 bowlers in that lineup, counting Marcus Stoinis. So they could just get a power hitter at the end. So they could put in, say, an Ashton Turner at the end, because Ashton Turner is part of the...
Let's look at the impact subs.
It's part of the subs.
Yeah.
So they could do something like that and just tell Rahul, go have a great time. We'll replace you with a batter.
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
Who's there when we looked at... So we have...
So they got Siddharth, Yadav, Mohsin, Bishnoi, Pandya, Stoinis. They've got those 6.
I'm saying the impact subs. We have Ashton Turner.
Yes.
Naveen is one of the subs. I'm just quickly pulling up the app. So there you go. Deepak Hooda, Naveen ul Haq, Ashton Turner, Amit Mishra, K. Gautam. Could very well get Ashton Turner. That means a batting all-rounder. But I think their problem is, there's another problem I'm seeing with that.
Scary.
Sorry?
The bowling is not looking scary at all.
Yeah. So, but since they're batting first, I just want to bring one thing out, Michael, is that it seems like a lot of players are not playing in their optimum position anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at the start, KL Rahul at the top of the order, he's just got to go. It's as simple as that. But it's Pooran at number 6. I think Nicholas Pooran is up there with the great T20 players. You know, you look at what he's done in the last year or so in hitting sixes. I think he's wasted waiting down at number 6. I always simplify T20 cricket and say you've got 120 balls to spread out. Now, why are you waiting for Nicholas Puran to come into the last 5 overs when he could bat 12 overs? You know, put him at number 4 and just give him a licence to go from potentially the 7th over or the 8th over. Give himself a few balls to get in, and then he can exploit and be powerful. Yeah. So, I mean, Stoinis is another player as well that is you know, you go back 3 or 4 years ago, he was, you know, up there with the best. And, you know, over the last couple of years, he kind of just dwindled, and I think he's kind of searching for a position. I sometimes look at Stoinis and think, would it be worth him just going at the top of the order and go, just swing?
And he's
do
done
what
that.
Sun on the Ryan's doing. Just go out there and swing and try and hit the boundaries from the get-go at the start. I think when he's had his best time in the Big Bash, different conditions, different pitches, it's always been at the top of the order. I think in Indian conditions, I think Stoinis coming in against spin, I think the opposition would like that.
Yeah, but would you then say that your top best batters, your most destructive batters, let's say, should be your top 4?
Yeah. And Nicholas Puran is not a slogger.
Yeah.
Nicholas Puran is a proper batter. By the way, the other day, Andre Russell said he'd like to bat up the order too, because maybe now he's on 2 knees.
Yeah.
So he doesn't mind batting more. But Nicholas Puran is not just a finisher.
Yeah.
He's perfectly capable of batting through the 20 overs as well.
And then finishing.
And in the form he is in, he plays 45 balls. He's giving us 80, 85 runs minimum.
True.
So I find that a little unusual. Sometimes when you're very good at one skill, people tend to undervalue your other skills.
Yeah.
So they look at Puran and say, wow, he comes in and goes 6s. But he could also play the other game. He could bat through the innings.
See, I'm intrigued. You know, they've been successful, haven't they? Obviously qualified the last 2 years, finished 3rd in the table last year, so they're a good team. They've only played 1 game this year. You've got Justin Langer as the coach. What's he going to bring? You know, is there any kind of quirk that we'll see from Justin? We'll have to wait and see. But I just look at that batting lineup and just think it's a little bit. They've got some good pieces of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
You know, the pieces are there, but it's just that they don't seem to be in the right place.
Yeah, there's a little stereotyping, as Harsha is saying, but I understand that. You know, I'm so good at ordering food that people forget that I can do this job as well. It happens.
You're okay at this too.
Yeah, kinda, sorta, whatever. Punjab, we've got their team as well. They're bowling, of course, first. So let's have a look. They, of course, are coming from Bangalore, where they lost. They didn't get those 2 points. But look at this. Talking about a good batting lineup. We're talking about a destructive batting lineup, right? Got the captain up top there. Then Johnny Bairstow. Sam Curran listed at 3. Don't know. Might be.
No, they might have Prabh Simran coming in as the impact sub, batting at 3.
Yep. Jitesh Sharma, Liam Livingston, Shashank Singh, Harshan Patel, Harpreet Brar, Kagiso Rabada, Rahul Chair, Arshdeep Singh. Yeah. So there's their bowling. They, of course, are going to be bowling first. Lots of variety in their bowling, right? It's a nice mix. You got a bit of everything.
And they'll play the 5 regular bowlers. So they like Rabada starting and finishing sort of around 14, 15 or so.
Yeah.
They want Arshdeep and Harshal Patel to be there, to be around at the death. It's not worked this year. I'd like to see Arshdeep move up a notch. I just think he's still a young player, but he's not gone that one step up that we thought he would. Maybe we were spoiled seeing Bumrah keep taking steps up when he was at the same stage in his career. Yeah. So I'd like to see Arshdeep take that step up. Today might be a good day to do that. Can Harshal Patel still finish? But then they've got the leggy in Rahul Chahar, a little plateau. Yeah. But they've got the leggy, and the player I like, just as we talked about the other day, just flies under the radar.
Harpreet
Brar. Stoinis is their... but he didn't bowl the other day either. Stoinis is their 6th bowler.
No, we're talking about Punjab.
Oh, sorry, Punjab.
Yeah. Sam Curran.
Sam Curran is the 6th.
You got Liam Livingston can bowl as well, so... They've got the bowling option.
Oh, they've got the. I mean, against the RCB, they should have won that game, and it was their bowling at the back end that just let them down. DK got into his rhythm, got into his form, hit him to all parts. But that's the only thing I look at that team. Harshal Patel, he has to fire. You know, he's their standout death bowler that you just throw the ball to and bowl all the tricks, bowl the Yorkers, bowl the good variation slow balls. He's not quite getting it right at the minute, but it's early days, and you know, there's time for all these teams to develop. But they see in terms of Harshal's numbers from over 16 to 20. 4 overs.
2 in the first, 2 in the second game.
Yeah,
so there you go.
So those 4 overs that he's bowled in the back end of the innings in this year's IPL, the economy is 14.5. If he'd have got 3 or 4 wickets, you can kind of understand going just beyond 10s, but that's just a few too many.
I think one of the reasons is, and I don't know if this is true for a fact, but I've been seeing the last, 8 or 9 days, all the pitches are looking similar.
Yeah.
Flat.
So, yeah, all of them flat. So if there was a little grip in the surface, then Harshal Patel comes in, he's a different bowler at the death. Why did RCB release him? Because on those pitches, he wasn't the best death bowler. When it grips a little bit, wow, he's a fantastic death bowler.
Could be today, but his pitch.
But we saw Matthew Hayder and Brian Lara doing the pitch report, and they said, great surface to bat on. So I wonder if there's a centralized committee doing all the pitches this year, because I'm not seeing any difference in the pitches. So we're not getting that little local flavor everywhere.
Yep.
So maybe there's a directive to prepare a certain kind of pitch, which might go against someone like a Lucknow, who would be very good, the same team, would be very good playing a 150, 160 game.
And that's why, Harsha, if you look at, if the pitches are going to be pure, we always say that, your batters can win your games, but bowlers win you the trophy.
Yes.
So the best bowling unit, if the pitches are going to be better, will be head and shoulder. You look at RCB, they can't win the IPL. They cannot win the IPL with that bowling attack.
That is just of all the things that we've chatted today, that is the one thing that will go out on Cricbuzz today.
They can't.
That's the headline.
With that, I just can't see how they can win with that bowling attack. They've got no. And I always say to anyone that's looking at cricket leagues, is there one bowler in the RCB unit that an opposition would go, I'd love that bowler? Maybe Siraj, maybe. But there isn't anybody really that stands out that you think, Mumbai, we'd take that bowler, or, Rajasthan, God, we wish we could have. I don't think they've got one bowler in their unit that everybody else would like.
And I'll tell you,
they've got a Loki Ferguson and a Reece Topley, on
and
the
they're
bench.
sitting in there. Correct.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in there. I thought Reece Topley would start, actually.
Yeah.
Because he's good in the power play.
And did well
tall
for them last
left-hander.
year.
Yeah, and tall left-hander. You got Siraj, you got Alzari. Everyone's bowling about similar. Which is the team that's banked on their bowling this year? Is Rajasthan Royals.
Yep.
And they've gone with the extra bowler as the impact sub. So you're saying, okay, we'll play Trent Boult, we'll play Nandre Berger up there. We've got Avesh Khan to finish with Sandeep Sharma. We've got the two quality spinners in the middle. So they've structured their impact sub and their side around bowling. It'll be interesting to see how they go.
I've got them for my top 4 this year for that reason. They're batting and they're bowling. And then the fact that, Riyan Parag is coming good at number 4. So that move has worked strategically as well. Pretty sharp. But anyway, Rajasthan's not playing. Bangalore's not playing.
Correct.
The 2 teams playing are Lucknow and Punjab. So we're talking about them. With the Lucknow batting, I think another area of concern for them, Michael, is a QDK.
Yeah, but he had a great 50 over World Cup. All
100 upon 100.
Particularly when he batted first, he used to just, stroll out, get 100. But he's one of those players. He's always had those kind of little ebbs and flows in his career. When he's hot, he's very, very hot.
Yeah.
And when he's a little bit cold, he goes ice cold just for a while. But he's too good a player not to have impact.
Yeah.
He's that kind of player that it only generally takes. It might just be one shot. One shot that goes to the boundary and suddenly starts to get his flow. You got to remember he's batting in a position where he has to take risks.
Yeah.
And we're saying you go out there in the first 6 and you've got to take risks. You've got to get your team off to a flyer. You might have 2 or 3 games where you get out, but as long as the team ethos is you've got to keep doing it, and we're going to back you 100%. If there's any kind of mindset in any team that's sending their ropers out to be aggressive, and then the individuals are thinking, but if I fail today, I might get dropped.
Yeah.
Then you have a problem. I'm pretty sure he's not in that state of mind at all. He's pretty much given this licence, and every now and again he might get out cheaply, but I would back him to come good.
It could be, though. I mean, the team is definitely telling him that you're a show starter. Can it play on the player's mind, saying, Kyle Mayers is sitting outside?
So what happened last year? So last year, Quinton de Kock came a little late.
Yeah.
Kyle Mayers
pretty much took his position.
Opened the batting, and then Quinton de Kock didn't get a game.
Yeah.
But this year, he was at the SA20 conditions that he likes. He dropped down the order.
Yeah.
And I thought, hang on, Quinton de Kock at number 4. So I just hope he's absolutely clear in his mind. He's not thinking, oops, I'm not playing international cricket anymore. What if I don't do well on the franchise circuit? I hope he's not doing that, because those are not Quinton de Kock numbers.
Yeah, not for the SA.
No, that's a doppelganger.
Yeah, for the SA, for the BBL, both. So he's having a bit of a lean patch. I think when he left Indian shores after that World Cup, he left that suitcase of form here.
So maybe someone can send it back to him.
I hope so. He's here in India now, so hopefully he should be able to...
and if these are not the stop-start kind of pitches in Lucknow, then he should enjoy batting even more.
Yeah, it looks like. Of course, you're looking at a ground and a surface. Last year, the average score here was under 150, a touch under 150. From what you've seen today, Michael, this does not look like a 148 pitch.
Well, no, we had the big DOS, hey DOS.
Yes.
And Brian Lara doing the pitch report, and they both said it looks a beauty.
Yeah.
You know, it looks a flat wicket, so you're thinking 180. Plus, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see if the dew comes into factor, see if it starts to grip a little bit. We'll have to wait and see how the game progresses. But I do know that the power play is becoming, the 6 overs where you've got to be ultra aggressive. We've had over 85s the other day.
Yesterday was 85 after we thought that Bangalore 61 was really good.
Yeah, and
These guys come and put 85.
And with the way that these players these days hit the ball, it's no surprise that, you got to remember, it wasn't so long ago, we used to do our little predictions of, you'd say 42, 45, 49.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. If you are, as a bowling team, are restricting the opposition to 42, 45 in the first 6, you'd be delighted with that.
But the game's changed so much. We see it so recently. I was watching the Australia-New Zealand T20 series. Geez, those Australian batters are batting like it's a video game, like they've got 3 lives.
But in New Zealand, the boundary is sometimes inside the 30-yard circle.
Yeah, that's right. It's a 28 yards.
The boundary's like this room.
It's true.
But it's definitely going that way. If you look at Rachin Ravindra, he's coming out and batting, he's making 40 of 17 balls.
Yeah.
You have to have that player in your side.
But for the openers of Lucknow, sorry, just to add to that, for the openers of Lucknow today, when they look down that batting lineup, there's enough people, so you don't need to
put
worry
extra
anymore.
Shikhar Dhawan said at the toss, we came here last night and it was wet. There's so much dew last night.
Yeah.
So if you're batting first and you're having to defend a score, you need an extra run.
But it's like, so all teams do their research on who they're bowling to. So they'll know where they're going to bowl to Quinton de Kock. So Quinton de Kock will know where they're going to bowl.
Yeah.
So he should be thinking, well, I know where it's going to be. So my mindset is, all right, if you're going to bowl there to me, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to smack you over mid-wicket. Or I'm going to take you over the offside. There's so much research that goes into the game these days that all the players, they pretty much know everything about everyone, and that includes the physios, the trainers, they know everything. So it doesn't surprise me that someone like Phil Salt goes out, faces Siraj, he knows it's going to be length, he knows that Siraj is probably going to try and get the ball to come into the stump, he just goes clubs him into the stands for 6.
It's what the other day was said, right? That the Hyderabad team said that we knew that Mumbai would keep Bumrah overs for Klaasen, right? And they'd keep him at the back end. So we knew that would happen. And by the time Klaasen came, that game was over. They were like 175 in like 12 overs.
Bumrah bowled 1 over when the total was 170.
Yeah.
He bowled 1 because they were holding him back for Klaasen.
Correct. And it was an open secret.
And
They forgot about the rest.
The others just had a free run.
Yeah, and Hyderabad.
So because now everyone has access largely to the same numbers. I mean, there isn't an analyst who suddenly looks at base metal and finds gold in it.
Yeah.
There are no alchemists in there. They're
base
just
metal. What's base metal? Megadeth?
No,
AC/DC?
No, Baba, BASE.
Oh, okay, sorry. Like
But Harsh, that's when the
Michael Vaughan and I thought it's AC/DC.
Yeah. That's when the modern game gets a little bit confusing when you've got such a predetermined idea about a player against a player, and then you kind of forget that actually the other players are smacking your bowlers to all parts.
Because they're seeing the same numbers. Everyone's seeing the same numbers. Everyone's analysing it the same way. So I asked somebody once, I said, so are there players who are very obsessed with numbers and lengths and whatever? And they said, yeah, there are some players like that. And then we tried doing that to Andre Russell. He said, no, it doesn't matter where he bowls, I'm going to hit a 6 anyway.
That's true, yeah.
So some players are like that. Yeah. I just saw Quinton de Kock today, goes out completely open mind and says, I'm a seriously good player, I just hit the ball.
I think for Lucknow, that's the trouble. That they're 2 international players, Quinton de Kock and Marcus Stoinis, having a bit of a lean patch. Yeah. So if they can turn it around today, Lucknow can definitely get to a nice and healthy score. Let's have the Joy Factor question now. Joy's not here, but he has left his questions behind. And when he's not here, the questions are always 1,000 words, like today. In Test cricket, this particular record was set in the very first test and has stood the test of time in tests. It's a lot of tests. Among Indians, VVS Lakshman leads the list. What is the record?
I think I know it.
And who holds it?
Record set in the very first test match.
Man, I checked.
I don't even understand the question.
Yeah, I checked out in the first 3 lines.
Yeah.
This particular record was set in the very first test. I'm assuming the very first test that was ever played.
Stood the test of time.
And it stood the test of time. Among Indians, Lakshman leads that list. Okay. By now, someone's given the answer, maybe. So maybe it's the percentage of runs.
What?
Maybe it's the percentage of runs scored by one batter.
That's interesting. Could be. All right.
Okay.
I have no idea. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live, hashtag Joy Factor, where you have to send in your answers. On X, formerly known as Twitter. All right. Now,
I wondered why you're calling the Impact Sub. That's what they do for the Impact Sub these days.
I have to call the Impact Sub because I got to go on a dinner now. So somebody else do this. We have our guessing game, of course. Michael wants first, so we'll let you go. Come on.
I'm going to go 180.
180.
Purely because Matthew Hayden said 180.
He's taken my number. Yeah, I was going to do. I should have gone there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You go, sir.
Actually, I'm going little, and I don't know why. I shouldn't, but I'm 174.
174. All right, so then I'll go a little higher. There's no chance for a little higher, but anyway, 186.
Yeah.
186. There you go. Bunched up pretty tight today, aren't we? 174, 180, 186. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. We'll do a little stock check of where Lucknow's batting effort is at that point in time. And then, of course, we'll see you Cricbuzz Live at the end of the 20 overs. So thank you for watching. From Michael Vaughan, Harsha Bhogle and Gaurav Kapur, it is bye for now.
कृपया लक्ष्य जयपुर वाया कोटा कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন